Highgard Castle stood like a crown of gray stone atop the freezing northern cliffs. It was a place of old money and rigid traditions. Cedric did not belong here. Born to an outcast caste in the sun-drenched south, he had traveled to Highgard only to see the birthplace of his late father. He had no wealth, no titles, and no royal crest. But he had a brilliant mind and the soul of a poet. It was in the castle's hidden winter gardens that Cedric first saw Lady Isolde. She was a pure-blood noblewoman of the ruling clan, her beauty as delicate and striking as a frost-covered rose. Their worlds were completely different, but when Cedric spoke his poetry to her, the invisible walls between them crumbled. They met in secret, stealing moments in the shadows of the stone archways. He taught her the warmth of the southern stars, and she showed him the quiet beauty of the northern snow. For the first time in his life, the southern outcast felt like a king, because he held the heart of the northern princess. But in Highgard, love was not a matter of the heart. It was a matter of blood. The elders of the High Council discovered their secret romance. To them, Cedric was a stain on their pure lineage. Invoking the ancient pact, a draconian law of pure-blood marriage, the elders humiliated Cedric in the Great Hall, stripping him of the few belongings he had and banishing him from the northern territories forever. Before Cedric was forced into exile towards the eastern monasteries, he and Isolde met one last time at the edge of the glass lake. The frozen waters mirrored the devastating sorrow in their eyes. With a silver dagger, they both cut the palms of their hands, pressing their bleeding skin together. "I will wait for you, Cedric," Isolde wept, her tears freezing on her pale cheeks. "By this blood, I swear it. I am yours, in this life and the next." Cedric kissed her trembling lips, holding on to that promise as his only lifeline as he marched into the freezing unknown. Cedric sought refuge in the quiet isolation of Silvermoon Abbey in the east, studying ancient texts while holding on to Isolde's promise. But back in Highgard, a different storm was brewing. Isolde's clan was secretly on the brink of absolute financial ruin. Like a vulture smelling death, Lord Alaric arrived from the west. Alaric was a formidable warlord, arrogantly wealthy and draped in gold. He brought a massive procession of riches to Highgard and demanded Lady Isolde's hand in marriage. The elders and Isolde's desperate family begged her to accept to save their clan from starvation and ruin. Crushed by the weight of her family's survival, Isolde broke. Weeks later, a royal courier arrived at Silvermoon Abbey. Cedric's hands trembled as he unrolled the parchment bearing the Highgard seal. It was from Isolde. It contained her formal breaking of the blood oath, announcing her marriage to Lord Alaric. The betrayal shattered Cedric's mind. He collapsed in the Abbey's stone corridors, gripped by a violent, life-threatening fever. He spent months on the edge of death, his heart entirely consumed by the agonizing poison of a broken promise. He would have died in that abbey, if not for Gareth, a young, pragmatic knight, and Cedric's only true friend. Gareth dragged Cedric out of his bed of misery. "She chose gold, Cedric," Gareth said, throwing cold water on his friend's face. "Are you going to die for a woman who sold your blood oath? Or are you going to make her regret it?" They left the abbey and traveled to Aethelgard, the grandest capital in the east, a city of towering spires, rich merchants, and grand theaters. Cedric did not pick up a sword. he picked up a quill. He channeled every ounce of his agony, his rage, and his heartbreak into theatrical tragedies and sweeping ballads. He took the pen name The Shadow Bard. His plays, filled with raw, devastating emotion, captivated the royal court. Within 3 years, Cedric became the most famous and wealthy playwright in the kingdom. The southern outcast now lived in a magnificent, sprawling manor, dressed in fine silks, his heart hardened into impenetrable stone. Fate has a cruel sense of humor. Political unrest in the west forced Lord Alaric and Lady Isolde to flee their homeland and seek refuge in the capital city of Ethelgard. But the grand capital was a city of vice, and Alaric, stripped of his military power, fell victim to its temptations. The arrogant warlord spent his days drinking heavily in cheap taverns and gambling away his fortune in the city's underground fighting arenas. Within a year, Alaric was entirely bankrupt. The royal bank seized their rented castle. Desperate, freezing, and stripped of all his pride, Alaric had nowhere left to turn. He knocked on the heavy oak doors of the grandest manor in the city. Cedric opened the doors. Alaric dropped to his knees in the pouring rain, begging the man his wife once loved for shelter. Cedric paid Alaric's debts and offered them a roof, but his eyes were as cold as the northern winters. The sheer humiliation of being saved by the outcast he had once mocked broke Alaric's spirit completely. That night, in a cheap, dim inn on the edge of the city, Lord Alaric drew his own sword and ended his life. He left behind a blood-stained parchment for Cedric, reading, "I stole a heart that never belonged to me. Forgive my pride. Protect her." Isolde was now a widow, draped in mourning black, completely destitute. One evening, she stood in the grand, opulent hall of Cedric's manor. Looking into the eyes of the man she had never stopped loving, she reached out her hand, hoping to finally honor their blood oath. But Cedric did not reach back. He looked at her, not with love, but with years of hardened bitterness. "You ask for my heart now, Isolde?" Cedric's voice echoed in the massive hall, dripping with quiet fury. "Where was this love when I was thrown into the snow? Where was this loyalty when you sold our oath for Alaric's gold?" "I did it to save my family, Cedric. I never stopped loving you," Isolde cried, her tears falling freely. "Your love is a luxury I can no longer afford," Cedric replied coldly, turning his back on her. He walked to his desk and handed her a gilded ticket. It was a first-class cabin on the Leviathan, the king's massive, luxurious galleon that was sailing back to the north. "I am paying your debts and sending you home, Lady Isolde. Do not ever return to Ethelgard." Isolde took the ticket, her spirit completely broken. She walked out of his manor, taking the last of Cedric's light with her. Isolde boarded the massive wooden galleon, her eyes empty as the anchors were raised. Back in his silent, empty manor, Cedric stared at the faint scar on the palm of his hand, the blood oath. Suddenly, the walls of his pride collapsed. The anger faded, leaving only the terrifying realization of what he had just done. He still loved her. He had always loved her. "Gareth, saddle the horses!" Cedric roared, tearing off his fine coat. He realized he could intercept the ship at its first northern port by riding relentlessly through the coastal pass. For 2 days and nights, Cedric rode like a madman. But as he neared the northern coast, the sky turned completely black.
A monstrous, violent hurricane struck the northern sea.
When Cedric finally reached the jagged cliffs of the northern coast, his heart stopped. The great galleon, the Leviathan, had been smashed to pieces against the cruel rocks. The beach was covered in wooden debris and bodies. Cedric screamed her name, running frantically through the wreckage. He found her. Isolde was lying on the wet sand, critically injured by the shipwreck, her breath shallow. Cedric dropped to his knees, pulling her freezing body into his arms, weeping uncontrollably. "I'm here, Isolde. I'm here. I'm so sorry. I was a fool. Please don't leave me." Isolde opened her eyes, smiling faintly as she saw his face. She reached up with a trembling hand, her fingers tracing the scar on his palm. "You kept your promise," she whispered softly. "You came back for me." "I will always come back for you," Cedric sobbed, pressing his forehead against hers. "I love you." Isolde closed her eyes, a peaceful smile on her lips, and took her final breath in the arms of her true love. The Shadow Bard never wrote another play. Cedric spent the rest of his long, quiet life in a small cottage on that northern cliff. And when his time finally came, he was buried on that lonely, windswept hill in a grave placed right next to hers, united in the earth, bound by a blood oath that even death could not break.